Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight for this evening's meeting of the Grand Rapids Public Schools Board of Education. If anyone chooses to make public comment, there are public comment cards at each entryway. If you complete the card, our board support individual will pick those up for us. And non-agenda items will be after the meeting, and agenda items will be at the designated public comment time. Excuse me. Non-agenda is not after the meeting, but at the end of the meeting. I apologize. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Grant, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Dr. Flores. Ms. Grant, present. Ms. Lewis. Present. Reverend Matias.
Present.
Ms. Shockey is excused. Mrs. Williams.
Present.
Dr. Baker.
Here.
Ms. Davis. Here. And President Ross.
Here. And we will start our night with celebrations. Me being a sports junkie, I'm always glad to hear these celebrations for sure. Oh, we do need to approve the agenda though. I got too excited. I'm sorry.
Support.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Dr. Baker. All right, now for the exciting part. Mr. Johnson, I think you have someone to introduce us here.
So good evening, President Ross, Superintendent Dr. Roby, and distinguished board members. It gives me great pleasure to share with you on this evening some of our winter athletic accomplishments by our scholar athletes. You know, it's no secret that we've been impacted by some of the same challenges that all the other departments have experienced with returning to normal sports seasons. But despite all of those challenges, you will hear what our coaches, who are really just our teachers in sports, and what our scholar athletes have been able to accomplish regardless. So here with me this evening is Marcus Harris from Ottawa Hills High School Athletic Director, and Justin Walker, Athletic Director for Union High School.
Good evening, President Mr. Ross, Superintendent Dr. Roby, Board of Education. Today I'm going to be talking about a little bit of the winter sports accomplishments here at Ottawa Hills High School. During the winter season, we're in the OK Gold Conference. We had 8 all-conference athletes and 2 honorable mention. We also had several student athletes from the winter season that were on their honor roll list or National Honor Society at their respective high schools. The Ottawa Hills boys swim team, who we have with us here today, also along with head coach Eve Julian and assistant coach Michael Weller. Ottawa Hills boys swim had another amazing season. Their overall record was 5-2. They won the OK Rainbow Tier 2 Conference the second year in a row, so they're back-to-back champs. We had 6 all-conference athletes, Jonathan Hoffman, Zeke DeBlay, Ethan Shee, Mateus Riskala, Ryan Yan, and Spencer McClure. They're all with us here today, so they made all conference. Qualified 2. The swim team also qualified 2 relay teams and 4 individual events for the Division II state finals meet. Jonathan Hoffman had another amazing season, which he placed 10th at the state meet in the 200 free and 13th in the 100 free for a total of 11 points, which was the highest point total for a Division II state meet for the Ottawa Hills swim team. Jonathan Hoffman also broke the Ottawa Hills school record in the 200 free, which is a 23-year-old record, and the 100 butterfly, which is a 39-year-old record. And more on Mr. Jonathan, he also earned academic All-State and academic All-American awards with a 4.0 GPA from City High School. And the overall swim team was a bronze level Medal Award winner for the National Interscholastic Coaches Association Scholar Team Award, which they had a cumulative GPA of 3.5. Also, last but not least, the Michigan High School Coaches Association Rich Tompkins Multi-Sport Award was established in 2015 to recognize and encourage student athletes to further participation while balancing strong academic core. In recognition of outstanding accomplishment in athletics and academic in each 4 years of high school and 3 seasons, it's my pleasure to congratulate Alicia Robinson as a 2022 Rich Tompkins Multi-Sport Finalist nominee. Alicia participated in volleyball, basketball, and track and field at Ottawa Hills High School all 4 high school years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, Dr. Roby, President Ross, and board members. My name is Justin Walker, Athletic Director at Union High School. So I would like to thank you for the opportunity to share some of the achievements that our scholar athletes have had during the winter season. During the 2021-22 winter season, in the OK Green, Union had 5 all-conference athletes as well as 2 all-conference honorable mention. With us tonight, we have some of our all-conference swimmers. We have Wyatt Dixon, Raphael Pruitt, who is a senior diver, and Caleb Austin, who is a swimmer as well. Caleb was the first Union swimmer in over 20 years to score first for Union High School in the 500 free. So that is a 20-year drought. This season was a season of best for many of our athletes. This year, our boys swim team set 42 personal best records with finishes in relays in the OK Conference. In our swim 2 tier was in the 200 relay. We had swimmers Lopez, Austin, Fuentes, Flores, and Dixon, as well as Raphael and Ralph Pruitt, both qualifying as Division I regional divers. We also had a number of student athletes who also posted top 4 finishes in relays, such with Dixon and Landon Sandy, as well as Caleb Austin in the free and Landon Sandy in the 100 back. So we want to celebrate those gentlemen as well. Thank you.
So we really want to thank you for your love and support of these student athletes, because without your support, all of this would be impossible to accomplish. So really appreciate that. So some of them have to get to competitions right now because they have spring sports.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Coach.
Congratulations. Yes, good luck.
Yeah, many of them are multi-sport athletes, so they're doing double and triple time. So our next celebration, recognition, and acknowledgement goes to one of our team members in the athletic department. There are many moving parts that goes on behind the scenes in athletics. It's an extremely long list. We attempt to not let those moving parts get in the way of our coaches, our scholar athletes, and our spectator experience. So we keep those moving parts out of view. But we work from sunup to sundown to make sure we have athletic seasons. My team often know I pore over the details, and many times at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I wait till 4. But we enjoy the work, and we work under 2 premises that I always say to my team all the time, which is sweat the details and be impressive. So this is what we work towards each and every day on behalf of our scholar athletes and our families. So Jolinda joined our team about 11 years ago after serving 24 years as a teacher and athletic director in the state of Indiana. So for a total of 35 years, she's been in education, with 23 of those years spent in athletic administration. Upon joining our team, Jolinda jumped right in and rolled up her sleeves and started helping out immediately. She currently is on staff as a PE health teacher at Grand Rapids University Preparatory Academy, where she also serves as the middle school athletic director. connecting not only UPrep students to athletics, but also GR Montessori and Museum middle schools. She's also our resident CPR trainer for the department. She regularly and willingly volunteers for most, if not all, of our big special athletic events such as Turkey Trot, the Middle School Cross Country Regional Championship, the Elite Challenge Track and Field Invitational, along with supporting and helping to coordinate some of our elementary sports program. She loves, absolutely loves to see high levels of scholar engagement and participation, and she's always advocating for more. And that's because she sees firsthand and up close the benefits of students being involved in after-school sports there. I cannot list all of the accolades for Jolinda in this brief segment of celebrations, but I would also like to say that she also provides us representation on several special committees at the Michigan High School Athletic Association. And she has also most recently been honored and named the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association Region 14 High School Middle School Athletic Director of the Year for 2022. This recognition honor accurately reflects her passion and desire to see all scholars do well. Over the years, she has participated in several diversity and equity and inclusion efforts. Her dedicated work in all of these areas is why she is being recognized at the state level for this honor. Please join me again in congratulating Jolinda Lucas.
Mr. Ross, Dr. Roby, and Board of Ed, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, first of all, for getting the phone call from Mickey Savage in the 11-12 school year to offer me a job. And second of all, I couldn't have been more proud to be part of Kurt's staff. Kurt has given me kind of free rein on a couple things. He's had to reel me in a few times, but I do want to say thank you very much. Most of you know that athletics, when you're involved in athletic administration, it is not because it's a job, it's because it's a lifestyle. I didn't realize I did all that stuff. I guess I need to talk to him about something else here. So I do want to say thank you very much. I do have to leave after this because I'm in the middle of a middle school track meet right now. So I appreciate it, and I am very humbled not only to get the award, but to be honored by you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to report from our scholar representatives on the board. Luca, Mrs. Chisholm, if you have any comments.
Just a few this week, I believe. In this last week, last Wednesday, we had our Senior Field Day celebration, which is generally just an annual thing that the district does to celebrate the district seniors. And so I know that me and my school had a lot of fun, especially just interacting with students from across the district and just having a good time, kind of de-stressing from a lot of the year. I know us personally, we had a very strenuous year, and it was just a really good opportunity, a really good time for a lot of us. City also has a lot of good news to share. We were recently ranked first in the state for high schools and 18th in the nation. So that's something that's very exciting for us, something that we take a lot of pride in and a lot of, I don't know, we work really hard for that. And those kids deserve that, and they deserve that recognition. And yeah, I think that's it.
Ms. Calderon.
Okay, I have a lot. Sorry. So I got back from my field trip to Close Up. It was definitely something else. It was pretty chilly the first few days, but then it got warmer. We got to talk to some of the members that represent the state of Michigan, and that was definitely something where I brought up a lot of the things that we took to Lansing the other day. They were definitely really. It got them thinking, so I'm glad I was able to do that. I definitely appreciated the senior field day. I got to see a lot of old friends that I didn't get to see for years, so it was definitely something seeing them. We had our last student superintendent meeting the other day. it was like a bittersweet meeting. Like it like was hard saying goodbye, and we're hoping that for next year, they can do more than us and better than us. CA Frost was doing interviews on Thursday for their new website. I was able to participate in that, so that was very exciting. Let's see what else. Graduations are coming up. We're super hyped about that. Last week of school, so definitely something to look forward to. CA Frost is doing a lot of. We're focused a lot on traditions, so we were able to do our senior walk through CA Frost Elementary last Friday. So that was definitely something. I didn't go there, but like it made me emotional. So I appreciated everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see, public comments for board agenda items and any union representation. I don't think we have any union representation today. But as we call your name, please,
Well, I don't
if
know
we have any
have
for
any.
board agenda items, we do not? There are not, okay, well, thank you. So that moves us on to our reports. Do we have a secretary's report today?
We do. All right, the secretary's report is an update for committee meeting schedules. Academic Achievement Committee will meet Wednesday, May 4th at 5 p.m. here in the auditorium. Legislative Committee will meet Monday, May 16th at 5 p.m., also in the auditorium.
Thank you. Policy Committee, Ms. Downs-Lewis?
Yes, our next meeting is June the 15th. We won't have one in May because it's graduation time. And I do have some policies to submit later in the agenda.
Okay, great, thank you. Finance Committee, Ms. Shockey is excused today. Dr. Flores, you have an update for us?
Yes, we had our policy committee meeting on April 25th. Mr. Oberst took us through what purchase orders there were for that for the board to consider. They will be presenting an amendment 2 to us for increases in services for gas, natural gas, and also some administrative services that are provided by Agilon, a group that provides administrative services to the district. We also approved a donation of $7,500 for 15 teachers to share at Cesar E. Chavez Elementary School during the 2022-23 school year. The donation is intended to provide classroom materials and resources. There were also additional financial statements presented that basically have us tracking consistently. And then there was a bond update provided by Alex Smart, and additional information is in your packet. There's also an update that he provided to us on school aid and the initial proposal. Of course, we've been given some updates also on the House proposal and how that compares with the executive proposals, which basically at this point are looking fairly good for us. Gave us an update on bargaining and also on the ESSER funds. So much detail is provided in your packet.
Thank you very much, Dr. Flores. Superintendent's report, Dr. Roby?
Right. Good evening, everyone. So, I'll wait till she gets us set up. I wanted to share this picture. This is, Jackie alluded to this group. This is our Superintendent Scholar Advisory Council. We've been meeting since the fall of this year, and it was bittersweet because these young people are representations of their school communities, and they represent their schools and the advocacy of youth very well. We've had some really deep conversations, some very thought-provoking conversations, and to your point, Jackie, this was the first year that I've done this, and it will continue to grow. I want the community to know some of the things that this group has done where they have influenced work that we've seen. Improvement around our student family handbook, a wellness initiative, which I'll talk about a little bit later, activities for schools, ideas for parent night, legislative luncheon, and I want to put a pin on that one too. They've been student ambassadors. Some of the comments that, as we were wrapping up our school year, because it's, we bring all of these young people together from different schools, and these are the things that they shared what this experience meant to them. There isn't anywhere else, and they were talking about the experience with Grand Rapids Public Schools. There isn't any place else I want to be. GRPS allowed me to be the person that I am supposed to be. I've done a lot of growing. I love this group. It helped me bond. I learned how to argue the adult way. I love that one. I said, adults, we argue a little differently than children do. I know how to get things done and influence the generations after us. And I think that was really, really powerful because, again, the purpose of this group of scholars that you see before, and I have to give credit to Executive Director Rodney Lewis for pulling this group together and facilitating the discussions, is that we've brought things before them and we want them to understand how decisions are made and how we go about processes. And sometimes it's really important that as we go about processes, you have discussions or debates or arguments, so to speak, but it is part of how we learn and grow. The thing that the legislative luncheon, these young people represented our school district very well. They had the opportunity to meet with our elected officials in March, I think it was, or tail end of February, March, okay, and talked about what their experiences have been through COVID, how they, as they've come back into school, some of the things that they've experienced with staff shortages and the opening and closing of classrooms and how this has impacted kind of their overall school community and what their hopes for the future are. And it was good for our elected officials because when they hear from us as adults, a lot of times they kind of, gloss over like, oh, of course you're going to say that. But to hear it from scholars, what their experience has been. And one of the things that stood out, one of the scholars said, we have never, parents have lived through their high school experience and such. They didn't have to live through their high school experience through a pandemic. And it's like, you're right, that is a very different kind of experience. And these young people are resilient. And so I say that to the two representatives, both Jackie and Luca, who I've enjoyed working with this year. You just give me hope as an educator for what the future holds, because you do have such agency and voice and courage. And I wish I had that voice and courage at 18. It took me a long time to find my voice. And so I'm just excited to see what the future holds for both of you and for the rest of our community. What we do, these are juniors and seniors. And the purpose of having both juniors and seniors is that our junior group can learn from the seniors, and so we are kind of building our bench. And so as those young people matriculate into the 12th grade year, we bring on new juniors so we can kind of build our bench, and it's around building leadership. We expect to do some great things next year into the future. The other last thing I will say is about the Wellness Initiative Month. May is Mental Health, Mental Wellness Month, and these young people have given us ideas that are visible, that will be visible across the district at elementary, middle, and high school. We've given all of our building leaders ideas and also shared those ideas with teachers so that they're able to take them and tailor them to the needs of their students, because we think it's important to set the framework, but then also allow people the flexibility of looking at their student population and say what works for them and how that drives wellness and health. And so again, I wanted to give a huge shout out. President Ross, we have a representation and a token for our scholars, if you want to say a little bit about that.
I was gonna do that later, but
Okay, then, okay.
no, that's okay. Big deal. No. I didn't mean it like that. No. But no, I was gonna sing you all's praises later on during the, there's a space on the agenda for board president comments, and my first comment as board president in that section would have just really singing your praises. I can't really say much more than what Dr. Roby's already said, though. I mean, you two have been absolutely amazing. Your critical thinking, your articulation, your ability to be reflective, Also to capsulize the voice of your peers and bring that to us, weekly has just really been impressive. And I'm actually excited and eager to watch you two grow from the sidelines and get updates. You remember Luca? You remember Jackie? Guess what they're doing right now? So no, really, we do just have a couple of small tokens. It's a certificate and gift card. Really just trying to show some appreciation. I guess I can give those to you now, though. Since,
And as both of our seniors alluded to, graduation and their final few days of high school is coming to a quick and rapid close. We will have graduation ceremonies the week of May 16th, and the first set of graduations begin on May 17th. And all of our graduations are 5 o'clock and then or 7:30. So on May 17th, we have CA Frost, 5 p.m., Innovation Central later that evening, GR Montessori graduation later that evening at 7:30. All of these graduation ceremonies will be at Hausman Field, so I want to make sure that everybody knows that we'll be at Hausman. May 18th, Ottawa Hills High School graduation, 5 p.m., and then Museum High School graduation is at 7:30. May 19th is University Preparatory Academy graduation at 5 p.m., and Union High School at 7:30 p.m., and then that following week is City High Middle School at 6:30 because there's only one graduation for that ceremony, so that's the only difference. And we'll make sure that this is posted as well. That concludes my announcements.
Thank you. Moves us to our action items for this evening. We do have a few. The first being the purchasing agenda. So we do have the purchasing agenda. The resolution is not part of the purchasing agenda, though. I would not think. No. Just on
just
my.
not
Yeah.
detailed.
So can I get a motion to approve the purchasing agenda, please?
Motion to approve the purchasing agenda?
Support.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Grant, yes. Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matthias?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey is excused. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis? Yes. And President Ross?
Yes. And as far as the resolution for the sale of the KEC Oakley property, we will be looking for a motion to approve that with edits to Section 15, which is the section for right of first refusal. That language hasn't been finalized, but we can still approve things on our end. And of course, Mr. Obrist will then get with the KISD, but things will be set on our end based on the edits to Section 15, though. So can I get a motion to approve the resolution, action item for the resolution of KEC Oakley with edits to Section 15? That was a mouthful.
Yeah, motion to approve the resolution for purchase of KEC Oakley to Kent Intermediate School District.
With the edits to
With
Section
the edits, with the edits.
15. That's important. Thank you.
Support.
Requested edits.
Requested edits, yes.
All right, Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Grant, yes. Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matthias?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey is excused. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
And President Ross?
Yes. And next, Ms. Lewis, would you like to give us some background on policy 49? Oh, wait, excuse me, I'm jumping ahead. Okay.
Here's the resolution.
Operating budget, yes, thank you. Thank you. That was my fault, not yours. So we do need a motion to approve the KISD operating budget for 22-23. Oh, a support for the resolution is made. We need support for that.
Motion for the resolution to support the KISD operating budget.
Support?
You can support.
All right, support. Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Grant, yes. Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matthias?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey is excused. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
And President Ross?
Yes. Now, Ms. Lewis.
Now,
Yes.
policy, the first policy we're going to talk about is 4910. And basically, we've never had any real language in our policies regarding memorials. And so we have devised some. And this language details how and when memorials are erected. And we are aware that sometimes there are spontaneous memorials for that happen at a school or on school property, because it may be a student or a teacher that they want to memorialize. But if it is one of those spontaneous memorials, they will stay up for 7 days. No public funds may be used for memorials without the approval of the school board. And memorials will last for 5 years, and these are the permanent memorials. They'll last for 5 years without, with approval from the board, but they may ask for more time after the 5 years is up.
Okay, got you. So any memorial will have a limit of 5 years, but there can be a request to
Right.
extend it at the end of the
Right.
5 years. Okay. Are there any questions for Ms. Lewis regarding policy 4910, memorials and recognition? Okay, well, can I just get a motion for a first reading of policy 4910?
So move.
Support. Dr. Flores? Yes. Ms. Grant, yes. Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matias?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey is excused. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis? Yes. President Ross?
Yes. And then policy 5175, any background, Ms. Lewis?
Yes. Policy 5175 concerns criminal history, background checks, employee, independent contractors, vendors, and so on. All employees, independent contractors, vendors, anyone who is in regular contract with students must be fingerprinted. If they are meeting with kids, with students on a regular basis, they must be fingerprinted, and they would undergo an iChat search. I think I got that wrong, didn't I? No. Is that okay? Okay, and they'll undergo an iChat search. So basically, what we're doing here is protecting our students from would-be predators.
And iChat is just a criminal background check through the,
Right.
So, any other clarifying questions for Ms. Lewis? Okay, can we get a motion then for a first reading of policy 5175?
So moved.
Support.
All right, Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Grant, yes. Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matias?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey is excused. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis? Yes. President Ross?
Yes. Then our final action item, well, I guess our vote is consent agenda grouping. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda grouping?
To approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Grant, yes. Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matias?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey is excused. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
President Ross?
Yes. All right, board president announcements. This is where I was gonna sing you our praises, but no, but just a reminder though for our board colleagues that we do have a retreat tomorrow, and there are a few pre-read items, just a lot of information. So that is in the board packet. If you log into and look at tomorrow's information, at the bottom there, Julie's put a link with all that information for us. So just please brush up on that a little bit. It's quite a lot, so it's not a matter of knowing it back and front and everything, but just try not to let it be the first time you see it tomorrow. Otherwise, public comment for non-agenda items. Looks like we do have a few.
I'm gonna read this. All right, just a quick overview of how public comment will go for anyone who this may be your first time. Our board assistant is collecting submission cards, so if you haven't filled one out yet, there's one at either entrance that you can complete and hand to Julie. Individuals will be invited. We have several individuals, so we'll invite a few at a time, and you can come join us right down here, and then we'll ask one person at a time to speak. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person. We need you to state your full name. We will then start a timer at the beginning of your comment and provide you with a 1-minute notice. I'll just wave my hand a little bit. And we ask that you complete your comment by that time. Board members are not able to respond during public comment, but we are taking note of your concerns, and we'll make sure that it is brought to the attention of the appropriate staff. Thank you for sharing your input with us. All right, so to begin with, we have Jessica Smith, Laura Kaspersky. I am sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm sorry. And Anthony Ochoa.
And if you can just feel free to come on down, sit in the front row there. Ms. Smith, if you want to go have a seat at the table, and Ms. Kapersky and Mr. Ochoa, you can just oh, no Jessica's. Who's Jessica? Whomever, feel free. Yeah. Whomever's going to go ahead and speak first, please. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Laura Kaspersky. Thank you for having me. This is my first time bringing any sort of complaint or concern to the Grand Rapids Public School Board. I am an alumni of Grand Rapids Public Schools, and I graduated in 1995 from Central High School. I've enrolled my own 3 children in GRPS, and they have all attended Grand Rapids Montessori since they are 3 years old. I have been an advocate of GRPS schools, and I've spent a lot of time educating people in my community about the valuable programs that GRPS has to offer. I've spent hundreds of hours volunteering to help run our school's robotics team and to help organize the robotics tournament at our schools. All of this to say that I'm a supporter of GRPS, and I love what we have to offer. Throughout my family's time at Grand Rapids Montessori, I have repeatedly felt like our program has not been given the attention or the resources that it deserves. Our elementary school has grown to include 3 Montessori programs, North Park, Ridgemore, and Grand Rapids Montessori, and all have boasted of waiting lists. And I think that further shows the desirability of the Montessori method and the Montessori program through GRPS. But for years, we have watched as fellow Montessorians have left the program at 7th or 9th grade for other school districts or different programs. All the while, we have watched programs like C.A. Frost Museum School and City get brand new buildings or huge renovations. Throughout this time, Montessori Middle and High School did its best to grow and thrive in the basement of an aging building, waiting for a time to come that GRPS would finally recognize the potential of our program. I honestly believe that all of our program needs is a decent space that would allow us to grow. I think our program would thrive. It is based off of a sense of community, and I think that once given an adequate space, we would be able to grow and thrive into an amazing community. I think it would be a build it and they will come kind of method. I'm tired of our program getting what's left over. I feel like it's time that GRPS truly invests in the Montessori Middle and High School program and provides us with our own location. The building site on Fuller, the Grand Rapids Public School University, would be a wonderful spot for our program, and I believe that it would help us to build a strong foundation and become a very a top program in the district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anthony Ochoa, and I am not as prepared as I would like to be. So forgive me for rambling or repeating myself, as I do want to make sure that a couple of key points are said. And I'll start by repeating some of the key points from the previous speaker. I am a supporter of GRPS in public schools. I am very happy to be sending our kids to Grand Rapids Montessori, and I want to invest and continue to see it grow, the Grand Rapids Montessori curriculum. Let's see here. And I too believe that we are not getting the attention we deserve. And it's quite amazing to see how much the Montessori program is growing due to our incredible teachers and staff, many who are here today, I believe. So even as they're growing it and the kids are thriving and the wait lists are continuing to get longer and longer, unfortunately it is, we are running into a lot of problems that are quite concerning, especially for me as a parent with a child with cognitive disability and who has routine IEPs. So this first part, I'm going to read an email I got from one of the special education teachers at Montessori. And we were talking because while I was doing some PTA duties, she walked up to me and was requesting, I'm also the PTA president in Grand Rapids Montessori, and she said to me, like, Tony, we're desperate for space. Is it possible that we can use the PTA closet? And she does mean closet. It's a building that's it's a little room that's about maybe 3 times the size of these 2 tables, and it's hot and stuffy. But it's one of the only places that provides privacy. So if you'll excuse me 1 second as I pull up this email, I'm going to read it here. So this is from the voice of the speech path at Grand Rapids Montessori. Since the beginning of the school year, we as special education staff have had difficulty with having enough space to evaluate and treat students. Our resource teachers both share a room downstairs and have to alternate their schedules of when they see students. Sometimes one of them will go up and use the cubicle space in the copy room. Again, not a private space. Teachers need it. People are in and out. Volunteers are in and out. Unfortunately, some stuff can be overheard, even though our teachers and staff use as much discretion as possible. The social worker and I share a closet space, it is a closet, behind the library. She is there 2 times a week, and I am there 3 times a week, with both of our caseloads growing as we have found that we are starting to need to be at the school more than we had initially intended. On Fridays, when the social worker is in our room, I pull students to one of the tables in the hallway. However, students are constantly coming up and down the stairs while I am meeting with students, making it difficult to hear their speech sounds. So that being said, my daughter is seeing speech path, and she is quite easily distracted, and so this is difficult for her to see the progress that...
Unfortunately, Mr. Ochoa, your 3 minutes is up, but please go ahead and finish your
Okay.
reading at that.
Well, I'll try to... Essentially, there's no room. We need a new building. Our teachers are doing a fantastic job of growing, but it's like water splashed into their momentum that they're striving for. The kids love it. The kids want it. The parents want it too. I think I said everything.
Thank you. Jody Morton, Tanya Edinger, and Nicole Clark. You 3 could come down.
Hello, this is my first time also at a board meeting. Thanks for having me. Hello, Mr. Ross, members of the board, and Dr. Roby. My husband and I are parents of 3 GRPS students. We have been longtime supporters of attending the school district in which we live. All 3 of my kids have attended North Park Montessori, starting in kindergarten. My oldest decided to attend City for high school, and he will graduate this year. My second child is a freshman at GRM, and I'm hoping my youngest will also attend GRM his freshman year. He's currently at City as a 7th grader. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I'm here tonight to express my frustration with the decision to continue housing Innovation Central and Grand Rapids Montessori together in the same building. I've participated in the Montessori Advisory Council for several years, and I have grown accustomed to the district putting our program on the back burner. I was initially excited several years ago when the district decided to put $250,000 toward teacher training. It felt like our Montessori community had finally made enough noise for the district to view our program as a worthwhile investment. We were thrilled to see the district implement the creation of Ridgemore Montessori just a few years later. The district was finally acknowledging that we have known for a long time that our program is successful and desirable to many families in the district. So much so that we have wait lists at all 3 elementary schools, as mentioned earlier. These numbers were promising and exciting. It meant that our program was viable and continuing to grow. My frustration lies in the lack of future planning for Grand Rapids Montessori to have their own high school building. What could possibly be the reason Montessori does not fit the criteria for their own building? The district has shown several times over the years that they value authentic programs and have supported them by creating UPrep, City, C.A. Frost High School, Museum, and most recently Southwest Community Campus High School. These programs all have been put into buildings by themselves. This has given the students and staff the opportunity to develop a community within their building. They're not sharing part of a floor or a wing, but they're having room to expand and grow their specific program. They have a student body that is all working toward a shared goal, and they have opportunities for social activities such as homecoming, after-school clubs, assemblies, senior trips, prom, and other events. These social activities help further build friendships and within their community. I'm asking the board and district members to give us a true and honest answer as to why we are not being given a space of our own. I'm tired of being given little bits of hope, but never anything of real substance. According to our enrollment numbers and wait lists, the Montessori program should be able to move to its own space. The program has grown to have over 250 students grades 7 through 12. When the district opened UPrep, they had 245 students in grades 6 through 9. When the district opened Frost, middle school, high school, they had 270 students in grades 6 through 10. And when the district opened Museum High School, they had 81 ninth grade students. And last year, when you opened the Southwest Community Campus, they had 200 students in grades 7 through 9. So what is required for Montessori to get their own building?
Thank you.
I would like to suggest that the district move the Montessori 7 through 12 grades over to the Parent University building on Fuller. This move would solve multiple issues. The Montessori program would finally have space to further their enrollment. It would give Innovation Central more space for their renovations, and the district would be using an already renovated building for students. The Parent University building was updated and used by City students before they were moved to their current building in 2013, which is Creston,
Right.
the old Creston.
Thank you for your time. We just, we're at 4 minutes and it was a 3-minute piece. It's not that what you're saying isn't important, but just for consistency in every meeting, it's limited to 3 minutes. But we hear you loud and clear. Not mean to be rude.
So
Thank
are some people allowed longer and others?
you are allowed longer.
Oh, okay.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Dr. Roby, President Ross, school board members. My name is Tanya Ettinger, and while I am currently an employee of Grand Rapids Public Schools at North Park Montessori, this was not always true. I became a proud member of GRPS in 2002 when my firstborn enrolled as a 4-year-old in Miss Kathy's class at North Park. My own students told me I needed to get right to my point, so I'm going to jump to that right now. Why do I bring up the high school building and the stability of a program now? Because once again, there seems to be a lack of understanding of and belief in the Montessori program. There's a plan on the table to spread the program around Central while renovations are being done.
This is being sold as a tough break that has to be endured for a short time, but something that will be worthwhile when the tough times ends and there is a beautiful school. But this isn't actually relevant. The beautiful school that is being built for Central, for the centers of innovation, and they deserve a beautiful school, and they deserve all of that space for their growing program. They won't mind the inconvenience while their school is being renovated because they will be able to grow and thrive there, and they'll have that hope there. There's really no reason for Grand Rapids Montessori to have their program split apart and their community disrupted. They should have their own building by the fall of 2022. They could move temporarily or permanently into what is now GRPSU. And if they cannot, I want a complete explanation of why a school district has a beautiful building that's not a home to a student body. As a voter and a community citizen, I can't really accept anything less. I have not once regretted the decision to send my children to Montessori, and the depth of my gratitude for the community we've encountered in the Montessori program is bottomless. That oldest kid that I referred to is now 24 and has had a colorful life plan for sure, but was never changed for them or my other children as well as their belief in the goodness of the Montessori program. There are clearly many other families in the district that recognize the value of this program since the only new elementary buildings to open have been Montessori buildings. The Montessori program is value added for families, but also value added for GRPS. And yet, at the secondary level, this value has been shoved aside time and time again. When my first child enrolled 20 years ago, I attended a meeting of a Montessori Advisory Council where there was talk of a new high school of their own. And this talk has continued with no forward motion. While UPrep was built, CA Frost added a high school, museum school was created, and Southwest was built. None of them had to have any particular number of students that I know of already enrolled before they could meet. They were just built on the faith that they had a program that would meet a community need. Meanwhile, Grand Rapids Montessori has been told over and over that they have to build their program before they could have their own building. What is it about a program like this that would make someone like me to continue to fight for it, even after all my kids have graduated from high school? It's the community, and it's the belief in my child as a growing human, a whole human. It's the way my kids have all grown up to be strong in their spirits and have a deep sense of justice. I believe you've heard from two of them, actually, via email. These are not things that were taught to them in any curriculum. It's what was taught to them by the way they were taught. The very existence of a secondary Montessori community has always been under threat of dissolution for our entire time in the program. Because the community always feels unsupported by the district, it loses stability as families opt for more stable programs, sometimes in the district and often out of the district. The constant flow out of Montessori after elementary and middle school just exacerbates that lack of stability. Communities need stability to thrive, and children need communities to thrive. By and large, even people who leave the program will say they hate to leave the community because it's been a powerful force for good in their lives. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Miss, you coming down? What? Yeah. What's your name? Okay, excuse me, sorry. Selin Tehran, Robin Shilstra, and Heather Allward.
Apparently, we're coming together.
State your name, please.
I'm Robin Shilstra.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Roby, Ms. Ross, and board members. My name is Robin Shilstra, and I'm currently a middle school teacher at Grand Rapids Montessori. I have had the pleasure of working in GRPS for more than 20 years. 12 of those have been in the Montessori programs. I didn't start out my career with Montessori in mind. The moment I was placed as principal of North Park Montessori, I began an amazing journey of education, inclusion, innovation, advocacy, and growth. Montessori seeks to educate the head, the hands, and the heart. We engage our students within the curriculum to meet the content standards. We work both in and out of our classrooms with our hands in an effort to teach our students their impact on the greater world. And we work together to grow the hearts of our students and instill grace, courtesy, and compassion. The best and most powerful part of our school is the community and family that has been built. We do not require anything special of our students to attend Grand Rapids Montessori. We come from and embrace every race, religion, socioeconomic status, learning ability, and geographic location. We truly have one of the most diverse student populations of any high school in the district. You can look that one up. For the past 12 to 14 years, the parents, students, teachers, administrators, and community members have worked together to restore, rebuild, and grow the secondary Montessori program and GRPS. We've done that. We have created a school within a school, despite all of the challenges that come with it. We've created beautiful and welcoming spaces within crumbling walls. Over the last 7 years, we have grown by leaps and bounds with no sign of slowing. I'm here before you today because our growth and success is at a precipice. Next year, our Montessori classrooms and student population will be split up throughout the Innovation Central building. We'll not be together as a family we have worked so hard to build. It is wonderful that our crumbling classrooms will be addressed, but it will make it exponentially more difficult to collaborate and support each other as staff and students. There is a plan to put us all back together again, but that plan does not address the need for more classrooms in the years to come. It gives us just enough space for teachers and classrooms for next year only. Without forward thinking, Grand Rapids Montessori Middle High has no place to go and no place to grow. Other middle high programs have been given autonomous spaces with less than the 250 students we currently have enrolled in 7th through 12th grade Montessori and GRPS. I ask that you please consider finding us a place to stay together and create and foster our family culture and continue to serve our diverse population of students that we have now and those in years to come. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Not used to rolling.
No, me either. Sorry. I'm Saylin Turan. Okay. Good evening. My name is Saylin Turan, and I'm a first-year teacher at Grand Rapids Montessori Middle High. I teach mathematics to 9th to 12th grade students, and I've come here tonight to speak on the worry that many of us have about losing the sense of community for our school. During my first year, I found a community of Montessorians, started Montessori training, and began envisioning a fully run Montessori school for us. The community of Montessorians have included fellow colleagues, students, and families that truly care and support each other. This also includes our Montessori Advisory Council, who has done an immense amount of advocating for all 4 Montessori schools, including the middle high. With any project that I want to complete or an issue that I have, I can count on that community to support me in any way I need. From the same community, I was encouraged to start my formal training in secondary Montessori education. This past January, myself and 3 other teachers began this journey together. The district and yourselves, as the board, has graciously allowed us this opportunity of training by providing full financial support for each of us, including room and board, travel expenses, and tuition cost. Without this financial support, I would not be able to complete this training. For that, I thank you. Outside of us 4 who are working on being certified, all of our secondary core teachers are Montessori certified, and which were funded by you as well in the district. During the 2011-2012 school year, the school board and the superintendent at the time dedicated $250,000 to the training of secondary Montessori staff. The main idea learned in Montessori training and represented in Montessori schools is community. The Montessori staff, students, parents, and council all believe in the importance of community and act as such. The financial support from the district and board to train us in Montessori shows us that you believe in this community as well. The one part that we are missing is being nationally recognized and accredited. We have all worked so hard together to be a true Montessori family in school, but without some changes, we will not see the accreditation for the secondary program. Specifically, the biggest issue for us not being accredited is not being able to run our own schedule. Because our classrooms are interwoven between Innovation Central classrooms, we have no choice but to follow their bells. Montessori accreditation requires at least 90-minute periods of uninterrupted work for all core classes. Not only does this bell schedule not allow for this, but the constant interruptions of announcements from Innovation often interrupts learning. The renovation for the building will not only cause more more of a physical divide between our Montessori classrooms becoming interwoven into innovation classrooms, the physical separation will lead to a mental separation between teachers, students, and staff, putting the core idea of Montessori community at risk. I ask that you support us as a school by keeping us all in one space of either this school or giving us an alternate location while renovations are being done to this building. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Heather Allward, and I apologize that I'm going to be repeating a few things here, but I will read as quickly as I can. Okay. My name is Heather Allward, and I have been a special education teacher in Grand Rapids Public Schools for 23 years. The last 20 have been in the Montessori High School. In the 16 years since we've been at our current campus, we've had to pack up our classrooms and move around the building 4 times, with a 5th on its way. The renovation plans that start this summer have our school not only moving again, but being split up onto 3 different floors. We felt that it was important to come to address you tonight due to that. You have supported our school with funds for teacher training programs. It's not a small investment. But without our own space and our own schedule, we can never be accredited. We are one of only a handful of Montessori high schools in the entire country with 3 feeder schools with waiting lists. We know that quite a few students leave after 6th and 8th grade to go to other programs, and they cite oftentimes the lack of autonomy of the program because of us being housed in another school's building. There's no room for our program to grow at Central, and with us there, Central also has no room to grow. We have been a part of the process of this plan for the construction. The original idea was to house us all on the ground floor, but they need to keep their paramedic room down there, so that wouldn't work. Then we all agreed to move to the first floor and stay in one wing, but unfortunately the Central teachers do not want to deal with the sewer stench and the plumbing issues that are on the ground floor, and you can't blame them. While our schools have worked hard to coexist, there are issues daily. Constant interruptions by announcements that don't apply to us, poor communication about speed schedule changes, students hiding out in the opposite school to get away with things because we're not their teachers. How can we be a school when we are scattered throughout a building? How is there any pride or identity for our students? There are so many aspects of our program that are impossible to implement while housed in another school, including the ability to be on our own schedule, which you've heard about. No matter who ends up on the ground floor of this beautiful historic building, there are way bigger problems than the historical accuracy of the windows, which is what a big chunk of the money is going to. I just can't imagine how there's money for the windows, but not to fix the sewage water that erupts out of our sinks every time we get a good rain. As the sewer stench comes out of the floor drains, the sinks, and the overflowing toilets in the student bathrooms. Are we kowtowing to the Historical Commission? I'm not sure why we're choosing to spend money in the way we are right now. I do understand that there are no easy solutions to this problem and that there are other logistical puzzles to figure out once we have our own space. But having our own space must be the next step. I know that this teaching model works. It's proven and research-based. There's a strong Montessori community here in Grand Rapids, public and private, who will fill its own building once we are given what is needed to become the fully accredited, unique opportunity that they are looking for. I believe that splitting us up now risks that very bright future. Please work with us to keep our classrooms and our school together. We are all on the same team, and we want what's best for our students. Thank you.
Excuse me, Ms. Julia Knightling, Christy Boland, and Tanya Chanter.
I'm not even reading my own words.
And just a reminder before you get started about the 3-minute limit again. Just a reminder about the 3 minutes before you get started.
Got it.
And who's going first then?
Can I finish the letter?
Yeah, okay. I'm Julie Neatling, and I am finishing Nikki Clark's letter. I might interject a couple things. She said I want to I want to see the, sorry, okay. I'd like to suggest that the district move the Montessori 7th through 12th grades over to the Parent University building on Fuller. This move would solve multiple issues. The Montessori program would finally have space to further their enrollment. It would give Innovation Central more space for their renovations, and the district would be using an already renovated building for students. The Parent University building was updated and used by city students before they were moved to their current building in 2013. As a taxpayer that has supported all of your bonds and millages, I want to see students in that building, not security, not professional development, and not parent classes. I want students to benefit from the renovations that took place in that building. I want to see the Montessori program have green space that allows for them to further involve their students in an authentic Montessori program. Having room for gardens and small animals, businesses such as chickens and ducks. The campus has 2 courtyards. They're beautiful. That would be easily maintained and not vandalized due to being inside the building. I want the neighborhood to have the benefit of student learning and making that campus a successful program for GRPS. I know without a doubt it is a nice place. I'm going to interrupt Nikki here. We moved 300 to 400 students into that building during Asbestos Gate and from North Park. And so we were there and it worked, and it was the first time all of our students had their own lockers. The space was nice, the technology was nicer. It was a terrible experience in general because we lost a lot of stuff, but it was a nice building. I enjoyed teaching there for the facilities, nicer bathrooms, big band room, big choir room right next to it. Lovely gyms. I mean, this is a lovely building too. So we've got at least 2 buildings. We have a few buildings that are really nice, a couple of our nicest buildings that have no students in them. And I think that that's got some really bad optics, right? That sends a bad message to the public. Okay, and I'll go back to Nikki. Sorry to interrupt you. Currently, we do not qualify for the Montessori Accreditation Council for teacher education because we do not have our own building schedule and are unable to adjust the length of time for classes by moving all 7th through 12th grades into their own space. You also create more enrollment space at North Park Montessori. That would be nice if we had more space. With 3 elementary buildings, the middle high school program would easily become several hundred students within a few short years. This request is not just mine, no, but many parents and educators. We are asking that you make changes into your proposal for next year. Sharing a space is not doable any longer. This shouldn't come as a surprise to any of you, as the program has been lobbying for its own building for many years. The floor plan of Innovation Central is not conducive to housing 2 separate programs. Regardless of the updates and improvements that will be made, the building does not support the needs of the Montessori students and staff. It is time for the district to put support behind our program like they have for UPrep, City, Frost, Museum, and Southwest CC.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep, okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Christy Bolin. I didn't plan on speaking tonight, and I don't have anything written down, so I'm just going to kind of talk from my heart a little bit. I have a 14-year-old daughter, Reese, who is on the autism spectrum and has been going to North Park since kindergarten. And one thing I love about the community, that's what I'm most worried about her going to high school next year and being separated from her family. It's such a part of the Montessori program is to be together and to learn together. And I know, Dr. Roby, you were saying earlier, you're having those juniors come in and the seniors teach the juniors, and then that's the Montessori program. That's literally the Montessori thought pattern, is to create leaders and to not let some people fall behind. And for Reese, I know the other day when we were talking about this, and I had to break it to her, she said, why don't they care about us? And so that's what she's feeling, left behind. And she's, through all these years, through Asbestos Gate as well, felt kind of like, she even feels that don't matter. So she's seeing the difference in what they put behind other students and other schools. And I just find that community is so important. If she was at a regular school right now, she would be bullied. She would, be more insecure. But she's got these friends who know that she can't touch certain materials, or if it's going to be too loud, they tell her to cover her ears. And this is, grades below her, grades above her. They've been a family. They've been together forever. So I'm really worried about her next year thriving with this new environment, being separated from her family, essentially. So I just am really worried about that. So
Thank you.
thank you guys so much.
Good evening, I'm Tanya Chanter. I have a junior and a freshman at GRM. Yeah, we were at North Park. We, as kindergartners, were going to do school of choice as we were not happy with GRPS, but we stuck with GRPS. We are still at GRPS. We stayed in the Montessori program. That's how much we have loved watching our children grow. My kids, they had a friend over from the GRPS Montessori, and we just kind of had a powwow of what they like about the Montessori. They love Montessori. My junior and his friend is a junior. They want to see better for the kids behind them. That's showing they want to have better stuff so they can, again, like Christy just said, the 10th graders are mentoring the juniors, the freshmen. The freshmen are learning from the 10th graders, the 11th graders, and 12th graders, and back and forth, which is how the Montessori program is. They mentioned the central speakers interrupt the GRPS Montessori classes, which is very hard. When we had our testing that we have to have by the state, our kids had to go to GRCC. They had to walk to do all their testing because they could not stay in the central building because of their bells. They couldn't turn them off. So they had to leave their area, their comfort zone, for this huge mandated state testing that they have to take. So that was disruptive to them to try to do their best. I was setting up some information for food for our teachers. We don't have a teacher's lounge. They have to come to the office to get their food. For anything we provide for our teachers and staff, they have to come down there, not their own space. We have no refrigerator, no freezer, nothing to put their food in for lunches. As I'm setting up, there is a teacher giving a verbal test to a child in the office. There is no place for that person to go to give this child a verbal test because a child needs to have a verbal test as they cannot write a test out. That is not right. That's wrong. That I should not be standing there listening to a teacher give a test because there is no room for them to go. I also was part of the asbestos. We were at GRPSU. It was a lovely facility. All the kids, it's set up for high school, so the lockers were big for our little ones, our first graders, but it was a beautiful program, the beautiful setup there. So many classrooms are empty, and that was sad. All these classrooms are empty throughout the whole day. It's a wasted space as it is right now. It would be perfect for all of our students to grow and learn. It's on the bus line. There's absolutely no reason they could not go to CC to further their education, that they can take classes during the high school program. There's a bus line. So I just support us having our own building that we need. And I thank you for listening to all of us this evening and appreciate your time.
Thank you. So just calling again, we called earlier, Lori Kaspersky, Jody Morton. Are you still here? No? Okay.
It was Jessica Smith.
Jessica Smith, I'm sorry, you're right. That's the one, Jessica Smith. Okay, well, there was someone. Nonetheless, no one was not heard, though, end of the day. Correct. All right, well, thank you. I guess that will move us to our superintendent's comments.
All right. Good evening. So the last couple of weeks since spring has begun, it has been just a very fun time in GRPS overall. I know that we have, it feels weird to be making comments about fun times as people have been sharing kind of their thoughts, but I think it's also important to share kind of all the things that are going on within the district. We know that City High School was recognized as #1 in the state. That is nothing to sneeze at, and it is 18 in the nation. And so more significantly, there are 24,000 high schools, nearly 24,000 high schools in the United States of America. And to be ranked 18 out of 24,000 high schools is amazing. And I am so proud of the staff, the scholars, the leadership of City High School, because that's not done in a vacuum. It's a combination of that school community. And so I just, again, want to say congratulations and kudos to the school community of City. Senior Day, as we talked about, was a fun day. If you've not attended Senior Day, it's an old school, what I would call old school track and field day. It was a lot of fun. It was a little cold, but it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun outside, and so I was glad that we had the opportunity to have that celebration, and as our scholars mentioned, to be able to kind of have a reunion of sorts with other classmates that they have had in other parts of their school programs. Citywide Art Show. So the Citywide Art Show is back. It is downtown on Ionia at the Western Michigan University building. If you have not had an opportunity to check that out, it is phenomenal to see the artwork of all of our scholars across our schools, and it is just a fabulous, fantastic experience. Spring cleaning days, just a reminder, as we are going into spring, we've had the last 2 Saturdays where we've gone to various buildings, and we have 2 more Saturdays, this upcoming Saturday and the following Saturday. We invite everyone to come out. Some buildings need a little bit more support and help than others, but it's light raking, picking up trash that may have blown into the yards, and then planting, in some cases, some plants and flowers. It's been really, really nice. And then finally, it is National Teacher Appreciation Week, and I can't say enough about the work of our teachers. They do a lot of different things day in, day out, not just the curriculum, teaching the curriculum, being creative, being innovative. It's connecting with our scholars, connecting with families, making sure that they do have a sense of belonging. And it's important that we lift up our teachers to say, thank you for the jobs, big and small. The things that you do are seen and unseen, and just that we appreciate and just love that you are a part of GRPS and that you've chosen teaching as a profession. And that concludes my announcements for today.
Thank you. Mr. Chisholm, any closing comments?
Not today, thank you.
Ms. Calderon.
I don't think so. Thank you for everything. Appreciate
Thank you.
everything and the experiences and the connections, not just to you guys, but Mr. John and Mr. Lewis. I appreciate how you guys taught me how to argue the adult way.
Thank you. Reverend Matthias.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult, I think, to hear what we hear and also the overall celebration. I think, though, it emphasizes that, in fact, we are a community. And I think we can celebrate and hurt, too, and bring those concerns. So I really appreciate that. And wrestling with those issues. I love the celebrations that we have. It's exciting to see this new set of students ready to go out and conquer the world, having had examples and having had real experiences that are going to shape their lives. So really appreciate the work of both our teachers, our administrators, all the way down to our custodians, to those keeping us safe. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes, I'd just like to congratulate our 2 young people who are going to be leaving us soon, and I'm sure we'll see them as they walk across the stage and pick up their diploma. And I also wanted to inform anyone who has not attended the art show. I second what Dr. Lidrian said, because Dr. Roby said, because I was down there, and it is spectacular when you think about little kids and big kids. And I think I heard that it was the largest art show produced by students.
Let's go with it.
She's not here, head up there. Congratulations for that. That's great.
Thank you. Good deal. Ms. Grant?
Yes, congratulations to you guys as you near graduation. It's very exciting, and thank you for the voice that you've brought to the board, and as we're working with our legislators and officials. It's been amazing to see you all find your voice this year. And And I want to address the Montessori family that is here. I am a graduate of Montessori myself, Grand Rapids Montessori. And so I'm choosing my words carefully here, but I feel your pain. I know that Montessori is such a unique method that if you don't live in that world, you don't quite understand it. So sometimes it's like, well, why can't you walk from, I come from, we were in Ottawa's building. So, students walked from North House to South House all the time. It's like, why can't you walk? But the community that Montessori builds is very unique. And so I do hear you, and I look forward to the dialogue that follows this, because there is some amazing work happening there. And Montessori produces some amazing students, if I do say so myself. But so thank you for continuing to use your voice. Thank you for continuing to foster that community. And I look forward to the long-term growth that Montessori will have in this district.
Dr. Baker.
Yeah, I just want to address the city number one thing is pretty fantastic. But when I got on the board, so this is when Jacqueline and Luca were not eligible for Children's House yet. People said to me that watch out for city, make sure they don't water down the curriculum by expanding access to the school. So we've been expanding access to that school for 14 years now, and it's still number one. And I think that it's not something that we talk. People sometimes excuse city because it's viewed as exclusive, but it's not. It's our city, and I want to really celebrate the students that are there and for doing that work. And it's not something that's unique to the small group of students. It's a large group of students from across the city. And with that, I'm not a graduate of Montessori, but I know the Montessori program well. I know some of you well because my son spent a lot of time in the principal's offices at your schools. Definitely hear what you have to say, and it's important. Thank you.
Ms. Davis.
I just want to say congratulations to Jackie and Luca, and you have thoroughly impressed me this year. I can't imagine being so articulate when I was a senior in high school. So thank you for your voice. And I just look forward to hearing how you're doing moving on from high school. And congratulations to all the upcoming graduates.
Yeah, I'd like to echo exactly what Ms. Davis said. You guys are really impressive. And I hope that you enjoy your college years and you come back to this community and contribute your talents here, because we need your voice not only here in the experience that you've provided here in the leadership, but we need it in the future. We need young people that can help our civic or carry out our civic responsibilities that we have to make Grand Rapids a better place. And I'd like to also just compliment the teachers and the parents that have come forth this evening. I think it says something about our culture that we have a changing, a very positive culture in the administration of our district, and that teachers can feel comfortable sharing their voice, because that's what makes a community better. That's what makes a school district better. I have a special place in my heart for Montessori. My children attended the Grand Rapids Public Schools while I was a teacher, and they were in the Montessori program, and they've done very well for themselves. So thank you very much for your involvement, your activism. Keep it up. Voice in this community is important. So thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to take time to thank everyone for putting us on your agenda this evening. We know it's sometimes difficult to come and speak to us after a long day, but we appreciate it. And while we, again, cannot respond, we are listening. Thank you.
Thank you for your advocacy. No other comments from me. This meeting is adjourned.